Dong-eun's revenge is in full display in all of its glory as she meticulously breaks her enemies down one by one, and she does it without taking part in any kind of physical violence. That's the amazing part about it. All she did was allow them to turn on each other and use their selfish greed to isolate them and destroy themselves. Whether it's pure luck, coincidence, or a divine force, certain elements fell perfectly into the palm of her hands. But did Dong-eun's revenge fall into place because of pure luck, or was karma slowly weaving its law of cause and effect into their lives? You reap what you sow. Let's take Ju Yo-jung for example. The foundation for Dong-eun's revenge started when So-hee's murder took place. Yo-jung's father preserved her body in the freezer, hoping that one day good will overcome evil. And it just so happens that So-hee's murder was the one catalyst Dong-eun depended on to exact her revenge. Was this plan set in motion from the very beginning? The apartment lady that she saved from the icy river. That meeting may very well have been destined all along. There's no arguing that they both saved each other in a time where hope was needed the most.
And what about the school nurse who kept the report documents of Dong-eun from high school? Those documents played a key role in setting up Yoonjin's downfall via blog posts. Miss Kang, who just so happened to play an integral role as Dong-eun's spy, provided her all the information she needed to execute her plans, going as far as convincing Yoonjin to have her work for her towards the end. And how her abusive husband would play a key role in taking down Yoonjin's mother and the corrupt cop at the same time. Even Gyungran, the siesta employee and Yoonjin's personal assistant, played a key role in the end. We won't forget that she was also bullied by the same people in high school after Dong-eun left. After years of torment by these motherfuckers, she gave the final death blow to Myung-oh. And of course Do-young. Was it luck or karma that swayed him to turn his back on Yoonjin? Was it always Dong-eun's plan to make him feel sorry for her from the start? Was it luck that Do-young would empathize with Dong-eun's past, making him a natural ally and an easy in on Yoonjin's life? And finally, what about the detective who admitted that it took him 18 years to close So-hee's case? And what about the shaman who seemed to be taken over by So-hee herself?
But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below whether everything that transpired was just karma or was luck on Dong-eun's side. So, how did this amazing revenge story end? Let's break down what happened in the ending of The Glory. It all started to fall apart when Yoonjin decided to crush Myung-oh's skull, but it was Gyungran that gave the fatal blow instead of Yoonjin. In any case, Yoonjin would believe that she had done the deed, which is the very moment she became unhinged. When Hae-jung lures Yoonjin to Yo-jung's clinic, he removes a piece of her skin while she was under anesthesia. This brings us back to Myung-oh's body. The crooked cop that was supposed to clean up Yoonjin's mess decides to preserve the body as a backup plan. The crooked cop, he eventually gets his just desserts when his own men turn their back on him and kill him. As the bullies continue to wage war against each other, Lee Sara finds herself on the edge during Myung-oh's funeral when she finds out that it was Hae-jung that sent a video of her performing the deed on all her fours with Myung-oh. Full of rage, Sara plunges a pencil into Hae-jung's neck. With Sara going to jail, Hae-jung survives the incident only to lose her voice forever.
Abandoned by Jae-jun, Dong-eun gives her an offer she can't refuse. By using the drugs Dong-eun bought from her gangster friends, she convinces Hae-jung to replace Jae-jun's eye medication with it. Moments later, Jae-jun finds himself blinded by the drugs on a rooftop when none other than Do-young appears. As Jae-jun plunges to his death, we catch a glimpse of Do-young's tie as he watches Jae-jun's final moments. Yoonjin, on the other hand, her demise was inevitable when Myung-oh's body was found by the cops. They find that the same DNA exists on Myung-oh's body as well as the lighter that was found at the scene of So-hee's murder 18 years ago. To even mount more evidence against her, Dong-eun plants the bottle back at the scene, which was kept by Gyungran. After receiving a video of that bottle through her phone, Yoonjin rushes back to siesta in a state of panic. It's crawling with cops and she's arrested on the spot. Divorced, abandoned, and alone, Yoonjin ends up in prison where she herself is bullied by her cellmates. Talk about karma.
So it seemed like Dong-eun was finally at the end of her journey of revenge when she finds herself at the roof before Yo-jung's mother interrupts her and asks and pleads to her, help my son out of his hell. And so we get this accelerated timeline where she shows back up 6 months later. She's been going to school and she even got a tattoo to cover up some of her scars.
Yeah.
And she's helping Yo-jung achieve his revenge. She shows back up and she says, hey, let me be the tutor this time. And so we finally see that Yo-jung is a medical officer out of prison that Kang Young-chun is transferred to, and he gets his seeming revenge.
Yeah, and it seems like Dong-eun is kind of become this master tactician for revenge now, right? Like she becomes Yo-jung's headsman and kind of comes up with this plan, kind of facilitates the transfer of this psychopathic killer into a lower kind of security prison where he can infiltrate it and become the medical practitioner or the doctor at that prison to exact his revenge. I don't know what to think about like this romance where they kind of say I love you to each other, but it almost kind of ruined the story for me.
I'm on the other side of that. I thought it was poetic because they had both found each other within each other's hells. I thought it was actually kind of sweet that the relationship kind of blossomed from that revenge. They started off using each other for their own ends, and so in helping each other out of their own hells, they found love with each other. And it was kind of hinted all the way back in part 1. She thought she couldn't find happiness in life, and there were little moments here and there where she could actually smile. And I thought it was a nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, I think to make myself a little bit more satisfied with the ending, I kind of feel like Dong-eun finds purpose in revenge, and being with Yo-jung kind of fulfills that side of her as well.
I do think so, yeah.
Who did you think ended up with the most satisfying revenge?
Definitely Yoon-jin.
Her performance was fantastic, by the way, like at the end when she was performing the weather forecast. I mean, that performance right there, like her facial nuances that she displayed there was absolutely amazing.
I think everyone involved got a little piece of the action, but Yoon-jin kind of like, it was a downward spiral from her job, her reputation, her family,
even
her daughter,
mom.
her mother.
Yeah.
She lost everything and is now spending the rest of her life in that prison being bullied and having to perform, mock weather forecasts for her inmates.
Yoon-jin and Dong-eun has this meeting, and Yoon-jin is like, why do poor people believe in this kind of like karmic poetic justice, so to speak? And it all kind of comes back to bite her in the butt or bite her in the ass. And I think it was really a combination of both. I think it was definitely karma. There was some divine intervention there, or divine force, shaman and all that stuff, fantasy now or whatever, like some kind of realms. I think ultimately it was karma, but a lot of luck had to fall into place for everything to work.
I think the most satisfying thing for me in this ending is realizing that Dong-eun is like the reverse of how to get away with murder. Teaching people how to get away with murder. Okay. This one, I feel like the future is set for Dong-eun to become an instructor on how to get revenge on bullies. Yeah, I know that Dong-eun has dreams of being an architect still that persists from her childhood, but I wouldn't find it surprising for her to find her like
calling.
Her call. I mean, it is basically she's an absolute professional right now. But what did you guys think of this entire show and the ending? What was your most satisfying revenge part of the glory? Leave it in the comment section below. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like it, and turn on the bell icon to turn on notifications. As always, this is what we're watching this Sunday. We'll revenge you guys the next time.